So a wargaming, aka UNAC, huge balance change block. Thank you, by the way, Timmy, for gifting a sub to Stuart. Let's see it. Let's dive in. We're applying balance changes to a large number of ships based on an analysis of both their combat statistics and player feedback. Okay. It is. Now, see, if this was real, and if this was true, C business subs would already be gone from the game. But let's see. Maybe they remove them later in this balance block. Novorossiysk. So what? Soviet Julius Caesar goes from 1.4 to 1.5 sigma. Interesting. Renown. Main battery parameters changed. Wait, are they buffing it? Reload time reduced 23.5 to 22. Shell ballistics improved. They will now become flatter. Stock gunfire control. Okay, this is just stock, but the researchable range goes from 17.4 to 17.9. Traverse to 30 seconds. Really? Renown. Not Renown 44. Yeah, I know. This is the tier 6 Renown. But wasn't it very good? Like, Repulse is even better, but wasn't this one really good? Thank you, Diesel Rampage, for the 48. Hello, gang. Wait, wasn't this thing really good, though? Like, Renown. Original Renown? Was it not finding it? Okay, I don't have it here. I guess I don't have it here, but is it because the Repulse was better that they thought that this was needed? I thought it was pretty good. Like, because it overmatches. I thought it was really good. I remember Repulse is like hilariously broken for tier 6, but Renown was always pretty good, I thought. Well, now it's going to be even better, and of course the classic 30-second traverse. Bolognese. Colonel Bolognese. Buffs. And they make the combat instructions slightly better, and mostly it just main gun damage a fairly large buff. I think it's fine. I honestly wasn't this was what, the Crown class? So it was what, Fiji style? It was a Fiji style ship, but it was never felt as good as the Fiji, I think. Probably fine. Probably a fine change. Tarigo, emergency engine power consumable parameters change. Action time from 25 to 40. Reload time 160, 120. This is fine. Tarigo is dog shit. Tarigo is horrendous to play. Honestly, I dislike most of the Italian destroyers. I think it only gets playable at the tier 10. Everything before the tier 10 is absolute fucking dog shit. So, any buffs that line gets is welcome. And this just makes the speed boost more usable. Because honestly, 25 with the 2.5 minute cooldown is ridiculous. Even worse, 2 minute 40-second cooldown. Undine, change secondary battery shell ballistics. They will now become flatter. Okay. This was needed? I wonder what actually happens is that when these things surface, because the shells arc, the shells might be arcing over islands and giving away their position. I wonder if that's a thing. Belfast, 43. Okay. Wait, holy shit. Main battery guns reload time reduced 10 to 8.5. That's a 15% DPM buff. Wait, holy fuck. That's a lot. That's a lot. Don't get me wrong, the original Belfast is better than the 43, mostly because it's, well, kind of the same ship at a lower tier, but like, let's see, where the hell is it? Belfast 43. What kind of DPM did this thing have? Let's see, main battery. Belfast 43 has 176k HE DPM, which puts it above the Ochakov. It's more than 50% DPM since it's minus 15% reload. True, actually, the DPM will be higher. But wait, HE fire chance also go up to 11, turret reverse gets reduced to 22.5, and it gets an increased radar. Wait, how much DPM is this thing gonna have? This thing is gonna have a shit ton. Is it gonna have more DPM than Kutuzov now? Has someone calculated the DPM on this thing now? Belfast has... what is the H alpha? H alpha is 2450. That's gonna make it pretty fucking cracked. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be more DPM than Kutuzov now. It might actually have mines DPM? 207.5. 207.5. It's gonna have more DPM than mines now. In fact, Bayard has 211k. So, and mines has 204. So it's gonna be at the absolute top echelon of tier 8 cruisers. 207k HE DPM and the fire chance. Holy shit. Isn't it pretty good fire starter already? It's not that good because of the 9% fire chance, but this is gonna bump it up a lot to 11. Okay, Belfast just became really strong all of a sudden. Like 43 has it been that special now? But after this, with the, because it still has the radar to smoke, and now it's gonna have insane DPM on top. It was really bad before this, but this is a pretty nutty buff to give it. And that's a lot of damage. Yeah, it has short burst smoke, not center smoke. That's a pretty wild bump. Wild bump. The issue, of course, is you can't pin higher tier bibs. Jeliassi, can you not? Can you not right now? Can you just not while I'm going over the deadlock? Thank you. Pozarski? Wait, what the fuck was Pozarski? Was this the AP Kutuzov? This is the AP Kutuzov. So just a flat out 10% DPM buff on the AP Kutuzov? It probably needed it. It's pretty fucking dog shit. I mean, it has pretty good AP. Don't get me wrong, it actually has pretty good AP DPM. It's got 317. So a flat 10% is going to bump it to 350, which is honestly still only like Cleveland levels of AP, but I never thought the ship was particularly scary or effective. I mean, maybe it will be, should certainly be more useful. And I would say this is a buff going, these are buff, so far the buffs have been going kind of in the right direction, except maybe Renown. I'm not sure if it needed it, but Pozarski is pretty dog shit. It's only AP, yeah, I know. Which is the issue. It has no HE. It's a AP only Kutuzov, which is like the best part of the Kutuzov, which is the HE spamming being removed. I'm not sure if that's that good. Anyway, Cuniberti. Same buff to the speed boost, that's fine. Cuniberti, as I said, I think most Italian destroyers are absolute dog shit. Split. Main battery gun reload 3.6 to 3.4. Torpedo launcher reduced 68 to 60. I mean, split is The issue split faces. The issue split really faces is that it's a radar destroyer that loses a lot of the fights it takes. Like the DPM on it is actually pretty good. Like, it's pretty good. The issue is that the thing never had any consumables to save itself with. Like, it had the what? The basic smoke? I mean, honestly, did it really need... I guess... Did it really need, though? I'm surprised about the torpedo launcher, because it's like a radar gunboat. I guess they wanted to encourage the hybrid thing. But wait... Actually, the more I look at it, what was the issue with it? Was it the firing angles? Because it has radar and smoke. I mean, it's a 10-second. Let's be honest here. It's a 10-second radar, so you get what, two free volleys off, which is an advantage in the fights. Still, it seems pretty good. The more I look at it, it seems pretty good. Are people really struggling with this thing this hard? I'm a bit surprised. Has it been like performing really awful or something? Let's see, server statistics. Last 3 updates, tier 8 destroyers. Split. People average 48.4% win rate in it. And very little damage. People still play Aeon for some reason. I mean, the premiums are going to be on top because it's people with high point captains playing lower tier ships. So premium ships will always dominate. In fact, we should probably take away premium ships. So split is here. I don't know. Like, even I don't really know if it needed like this. I feel like this is mostly skill issue more than anything, because if I have to choose between playing split and playing many of these, I'd rather play split. It's certainly better than basically most of them. Like, the only ones that I would take instead of it is probably the French and the IGN gunboats. Besides that, split is very strong. People have no survival in it though. Look at that shit. That's incredible. I think people kill themselves to use the radar or something. I think that's the main issue in this thing. People kill themselves to use the radar. Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure it really needed the buff. It was more like the player base needed a buff, but Wargaming compensates, I guess. Champagne. While Champagne performs well in terms of damage, her impact on the battle is somewhat low. Therefore, we're adding main battery reload booster consumable to better help her impact battles at important notice. Champagne was, when Wargaming saw the popularity of Slava back in the day, they wanted to make a tier 8 Slava, but they made it fucking dog shit because Slava got like the Kremlin hull, which made it pretty fucking tanky. Whereas Champagne got like, what, 25mm nose and shit, like, and it can be citadel through the nose, no hidden plates, no nothing, and it just became giga fucking squishy. So the Slava is like a passive battleship that has the option to push in at some point. Champagne was a passive battleship that dies the second it moves in. Like, that thing is squishier than Rhode Island at tier 10. Well, Rhode Island Kited is actually pretty tanky. Champagne Kited is still fucking squishy. Like, Champagne's issue was that it was completely dogshit. It had 6 guns, so 6 406s, but Wargaming gave them insane pen and pretty tight dispersion. So, but now you get a main battery reload. I assume it's a standard 50% reload booster for 15 seconds. So you get 2 volleys off. That's really what it is. You shoot, you pop it, you get a second volley off. That was kind of the gimmick there. I mean, it will certainly make it more useful. Very short cooldown, a 60-second cooldown. Now, battleships don't have superintended, so you can't get a 4th. But you can kind of build... There's some things you can build here. You can build... See, you can build a consumable thing, but would you want to? This is only DCP. Actually, you can't build anything else. No, you can't really enhance it in any way. It's only cruisers. This is the only thing you can build for consumables, and this is only heals, this is only heals. You can't really do much. You can run this for even faster, but not worth it for the reload booster, so you can't really build it much more than that. You can't really build it for much more than that. So what, they want to make the ship more impactful? Is that what they want? How did Champagne perform? Let's see, Champagne. Champagne performs really well, actually. Wait, what do you mean battle impact is poor? Last 3 patches. Champagne, 52.8% win rate. Isn't that going to be in the higher echelons? Excluding the really popular one? Lenin, I'm surprised. Well, Alabama has no players. That's really it. There's no players on the Alabama. That's what as it. Odin surprisingly high still, but Champagne at 52.8% win rate. a fair few players, like, they don't play it that much, but still a fair few players playing it, and it seems to perform pretty well. Very high survival rate, of course, because it never leaves spawn. So, I don't understand, what was the issue with the battle impact here? What was the issue with the battle impact there? Because, like, there's a lot of ships that have significantly less battle impact on the list than this thing. Huh. Strange. Not really sure. High damage, yeah, it does a lot of damage. Has high survival rate, and it has 52.8% win rate. So, and that's across 3 patches. I mean, seems to be doing pretty okay if you ask me, but what do I know? They want to resell it? I don't know, maybe. Marco Polo. Okay, that's good. Marco Polo is pretty fucking dog shit. The big issue with most of the Italian ships is that they all feel like dog water after they added the Colombo leg mod and made Colombo like an triple S tier battleship at the top. It makes all the other Italian BBs feel so fucking bad because they're average or below average. So it's pretty brutal. Marco Polo is the premium one. I think, yeah, 406s. Sure. 36-second reload is obscene anyway. Donkey buff. That's probably pretty okay. Donskoy feels much worse now than it used to feel. Donskoy's issue isn't really so much the radar effectiveness. It's a 12 km radar. It's pretty nice radar utility on it. Donkey's issue really is the fact that the survivability on the ship has gone down a lot. All the more higher caliber guns being added to the game, sub CVs and shit, because it's a pretty clunky and lightly armored cruiser. It used to be a lot more fun and easier to play back in the day. Nowadays, you get chunked by all sorts of bullshit really, really hard because the donkey hull is just squishy. So, I'm not sure this is the change I'd go for because this just makes it more obnoxious against things it was already good at, which is like fucking on DDs. Like, it was already good at this. It doesn't really alleviate the issues, which is, well, you get fucked really hard by everything. So it's a bit of weird buff. It was like, this ship is underperforming, we don't really know why, let's give it more radar. It's like, okay, sure. Weird change if you ask me. Hizen is dog shit. So he's gonna get buffs. This is a huge buff though. This is one of the biggest reload buffs I've seen on a battleship in a long time. 38 to 34. 34 though. This one was the 410mm guns, right? Hizen. For some reason Hizen was popular. But to be fair, all IGN ships are really popular, despite being really dog shit. Okay, I hate this part. I really hate this part. If it wasn't for the Christmas decorations, I'd hate this thing. Hizen, so... yeah, it had 12 410s. So with full reload, I'm 33.4, but that's gonna get a lot better with the changes. It's gonna get a lot better with the oh, this is an old build. We're actually probably gonna replay this, so I'll change this so I don't forget it. Like, the biggest issue really Hizen faces is the fact that it's got really shit firing angles, and if you try to get broadside to shoot, your citadel looks like this. So everyone sits you easily, you get fucking smashed giga hard in this thing. But unlike the Dyson, people tended to not give as much broadside, because Dyson baits people into torpedoing for some reason, and then they blow up. Hizen doesn't really have the same issue. 17-1 rudder is fucking brutal in the current year though, and I guess the concealment is, well, it's okay. It is joke because I gen, but I feel like it's gonna be a much stronger gun platform, which makes it much more interesting. A much stronger gun platform, which is gonna make it more interesting. Why no damage control system too? Because the diminishing returns, heavily diminishing returns. Basically, the more you stack reduction, the less of the benefit you get. To put it simply, the benefits you get are heavily diminishing. Like, okay, a base fire will deal 18% of your full HP. So if I don't run this flag, a fire will do 18% of my HP. If I run this flag, the fire will now do 14.4% of my HP. So I reduced it by 3.6% by adding this. However, if I add a 15% modifier, like let's say a captain skill that gives 15 or this thing that gives 15, I go from 14.4 to 12.2%. So I'm only gaining 2.2% reduction, which in terms of fire damage on most ships is something like 1,500 to 2,000 fire damage reduction. And you're using a captain 3-point captain perk or a module slot to shave away the equivalent damage of half a battleship pen or like 1 or 2 over pens. It's terrible, terrible value. It's diminishing returns. And then if you add the captain skill as well, if you spec this thing, which a lot of people spec, it's even recommended, which is an awful recommendation. Don't follow that recommendation. If you go this, then you go down from 12.2 to 10.4. So the diminishing returns become even worse. So you go from the first reduction of 20% goes from 18 to 14.4. The second goes from 14.4 to 12.2. And then the third goes from 12.2 to 10.4. At the end, you're gaining, what, 1.8% fire damage reduction, which is dog shit. It's complete dog shit. The only thing you need is the fire prevention skill and the flag. If you're trying to stack multiple ones, the diminishing returns gives you such little value, whereas running prop mod on the other hand is flat out minus 50% acceleration. And this you can use to accelerate to dodge torps, you can dodge incoming plane strikes, incoming volleys, incoming all sorts of things. This is what you should be running on every ship. The other module is fucking dog shit, mostly because this flag exists and it's much better value than everything else you could possibly run. Anyway, I got kind of distracted. But yeah, don't run it, don't run it. It's like the biggest mistake new players make when in captain builds is they overcommit in building against fire, when fire is rarely the thing that kills them. And also, if you're in a bad position, all this does is reduces the time the fire burns. So what it means is the fire goes out and they just set a new fire. So worst case scenario, if you're under fire, you're just going to get set on fire right away, and all your fire reduction isn't actually going to do anything. So no, it's just you build fire prevention and you run the flag. That's it. Anything else is a waste of captain points and modules. Where was I? Yeah, Hizen getting a huge buff though. Hizen getting a huge buff. Did it perform that poorly? Big buff though. So let's see. Last three patches on Europe, Hizen is performing pretty good win, right? 50 flat. How's the damage? 68k. Kind of middle of the pack. Honestly, seems okay. Nothing special survival rate. Honestly, I don't see much in terms of stats that makes it appear so bad. It seems average. Personally, I think it's a bad ship. Don't get me wrong, I think it deserves the buff because I don't think it's a good ship. I'm just surprised at how big of a buff they're giving. The app change. It's fine. Surveillance. Okay. Dalian? Dalian buff. Okay, Dalian buff is fine. Dalian was nowhere near as good as what is called Sejong. I never thought Dalian was that impressive. So Dalian getting some buffs is fine. Tulsa. Whoa! Dispersion improved and now corresponds with the standard destroyer shell dispersion pattern. This might actually make Tulsa viable. Well, Tulsa's issue is you have cruiser dispersion on dual gun turrets, and you spend a lot of time using only your front two guns because you're angling in, you're trying to play it like a Des Moines, and the dispersion is awful. It's fucking awful. It doesn't work. Like the double gun turrets don't work. The guns are all over the place, and it means that the effective DPM of Tulsa was greatly diminished. It was hard to utilize Tulsa's DPM. Add in the fact that Tulsa had thinner armor than the American heavy cruisers, you get the overmatch fucked much harder. So Tulsa always felt like just a big down. It never felt like the mini Des Moines people were hoping it would be. It just felt like a big downgrade. But now with the dispersion fixed, it might actually be a viable choice. It might actually be a really interesting choice now. It might actually be really interesting. Yeah, they also buffed, of course, Buffalo, which probably played a role in that. But like Tulsa DPM was always pretty strong. Tulsa was up here in terms of DPM, so it would like combined with the heavy cruiser hull and the radar and everything. Like it was interesting. The issue was that you could never realize this DPM. It was impossible to realize it because the dispersion was so inconsistent. Now, however, that dispersion is actually going to be very, very viable. I think this made Tulsa suddenly an interesting ship. I think the issue was it was much more thinly armored than the rest of them. I think it might have even 25mm armor. It was something very squishy, wasn't it? It was 27. Oh yeah, but didn't have the deck armor. It was all 27. Which at tier 9 nowadays is pretty scary, because it means full armor match with anything 406 and bigger, so that's scary. But actually being able to utilize the guns is interesting now. It still suffers from range and so forth, but the concealment was always pretty good on it. 9.5. I had 9 km radar to compensate though. You didn't get the full 10 km American radar. But it's pretty interesting now. You might actually be able to screw up DDs with the thing now, because if you catch them at 9 and then with DD dispersion, you might actually be landing shells and killing DDs. And yeah, suddenly it's a lot more interesting. It also became a lot more interesting. Okay. Adriatico, same buff as the rest of the line. This is good. Actually, no, bigger buff. It went from the other ones went 28.5 to 40. This one went 28.5 to 60. 1 minute Adriatico speed buff. That's interesting. Because you got to remember that these guys get the special. They get the special. I don't have Adriatico here. What the fuck was the Italian tier 10 called? They get the special buff, the special speed boost, which is 25%. So that's going to be interesting, because even the tier 10 with this was only sitting at 32.5. Now it has a minute at tier 9. Huh. What skill do you take instead of basics or survivability on BBs? Oh, there's plenty of choices on what you can take. There's plenty of choices what you can take. You can build improved repair party readiness to get that extra heal. Get shorter cooldown on your heal and get that extra heal once you hit 2 million potential. That's extremely viable. Alternatively, you can build brisk on ships. That's fantastic. Go faster when you're undetected. Helps you reposition, helps you disengage. Alternatively, ships like, for example, Ohio that you want to push in a brawl with. You want to build this thing. People underestimate how good... Like, everything else about this skill is dog shit. The continuous AA, the flak, you're not going to defend yourself in a battleship anyway. No, what's important about this skill is the minus 40% ship consumables. It means you can DCP 40% faster, and you can pop your next heal 40% faster. If there's a carrier in the game that's, if you're pushing in, he's probably going to be focusing you. If people are airdropping you, good and lose and so forth, trumps. If there's fighter plane, spotter plane, anytime your AA is shooting, this thing is active, so you can cycle your heals faster and your DCP faster. Much more valuable. Like there's plenty of much more valuable skills here. Alternatively, you can build heavy AP. If you're a pure smasher, like something like Vermont, very viable. Alternatively, you can build for things like Furious. For example, Wisconsin loves Furious because it can cycle DCPs faster with the funny button. And the ships that have super heals like Conqueror and so forth, they love Furious skill because fire damage is 100% healable, so you can heal all the damage you take, which means your super heal gets giga value out of this thing. And this thing was buffed from 5 to 10%, so it's 10% reload. There are so many things you can build that are far better than this. Far better than this. Depends on the ship. Depends on the ship. Katsonis. Wait, Katsonis buff. Okay, that's really surprising, because I played Katsonis in ranked, and I thought Katsonis was really fucking good. For a tier 9 DD, that thing was nasty. And they're buffing it? That's a big buff as well. 0.5 reload? How much is that? Is that almost 15% as well? That's a big buff. Katsonis was really good. Like, Katsonis' issue is It's got separate turrets and weird firing angles, but you could easily make up for it because with radar you could always engage well on enemy DDs. How? That's insane. Like the gun ship already was pumping out these numbers, and now it got what, 15% at least, 10-15% buff. So what? It's gonna be sitting above here, 210k or something. Holy shit! With radar and smoke. Are people just struggling? Is that hard in the European DDs or something? That's insane to me. Because I thought it was really good. People are terrible in that ship, though. Holy fuck, I just... Look at this. How are people outperforming Katsones and Yugomos and Östergötlands? What are they doing in this ship? Survival rate 19.9%. I think the radar is getting people killed. I think people are running into radar and blowing themselves up. I think that's what's happening. That's insane. Is that the worst? Not quite. Polo Emilio. The only thing that has a worse survival rate is literally the YOLO ship. Bro, okay, to be fair, Mogador being here is fucking impressive as well, but what are people doing in this ship? That's insane that they're buffing it. I remember playing that thing and thinking it was fucking cracked. Shish. I don't remember what server did. What server did I play? I think I played it in ranked. Was it you? I don't remember. Was it you I played that thing? I grinded that thing. Or was it NA? Or, sorry, can't remember what server it was. Where's Lambros Katsonis? Jinan. Did I play it here? Can't find it here. Fuck, I didn't play it here? Where did I play that thing? Because I remember that thing being fucking nuts. Have we even grinded it here? I don't think we have. This is randoms, but we didn't play it much here. Okay, this is fucking dreadful, by the way. Good thing they buffed it, the ship is shit. Okay, to be fair... Wait, I have 4 kills to every death, and I have 54% win rate. I'm glad they buffed it. Clearly the ship is shit. Chungmu is much better. Dude, Schultz is even better. Okay, I'm glad they buffed it. I take it all back. Katsonis is actually fucking dog shit. Well done, Wargaming. I'm glad you buffed it. The ship is absolute fucking shit. I fully agree with you guys. Good buff, good buff, good buff, good buff. I think I'll grind. I don't know what server I grinded on, but I remember we had like 90% win rate in ranked with it, but we don't complain. Apparently no one can play it, including me. Tsurugi. What the fuck was Tsurugi? Tsurugi was the IGN Premium. Didn't have the funny spotter plan. I think it had the funny spotter plan. Right? I had the funny spotter plan, didn't it? Side grid Adatara. 24-second reload. HE ballistic parameters change. This will result in the flight trajectory becoming flatter, identical to that of the AP shells. Okay. Turning radius, 80 meter turning radius, and an extra heal. So that's damage, utility, maneuverability, and survivability buff. That's every parameter on the ship being buffed. Do I have the Tsurugi? I don't remember. I might not have it. Or maybe I have it. Tsu? I don't think we have the Tsurugi. I think I never got around to getting that thing because it wasn't interesting. Shit, I'm missing too many of these ships. Wasn't that the thing that blew up? The Giga Squishy one? I remember shooting this thing and it exploding. Huh. Still, big buff in every way. I don't know if this is gonna help people that much though, because my experience in this ship is that it kills itself really quickly. So for the average player, turning circle doesn't matter because they're not turning their rudder. And heals doesn't matter when they only use one heal, so we'll see. We'll see what it affects it. More Gamba containers. Clearly that is the answer. Tsurugi has really... Oh, Tsurugi was 457s. Oh, it was 457s. I didn't remember it was 457s on that thing. So it's literally IGN Georgia. Interesting. IGN Georgia. Huh. Fair enough. I don't think the HE becoming more effective on a ship that shoots 457mm guns is going to change much. But the reload is probably nice. Rudder is nice. Republic buff! Holy shit! What year is it? Republic 2.1 Sigma. That's nice. I mean, it's not going to be... Well, it's going to be... I think it might be somewhat noticeable. 2.1 is Yamato, but with Republic reload? That might be interesting. Holy shit. Why? Because Republic... No one plays Republic anymore. Probably it's completely fallen out of... Like, Republics has plenty of issues in the current meta, which is... well, all its competition is so strong. And there's ships that just melted. Like, there's so many ships that... Because it's all 32mm armor. So anything that's secondary, and Wargaming's added a lot of nasty secondary things, just walk all over this thing. Like, it's fucking brutal. And adding all the HE spammers on all of this, Republic is just not a fun experience. Everything melts it. Like, people love to see a Republic because it's so much fun to farm that. That's really it. And it's spotted from the moon, doesn't handle that well. Like, it's got plenty of issues, so the Sigma buff is very nice. Jinan! Wait, they're buffing Jinan? Wait, hold on. HP pool, 30 to 32.5. HE damage buff. What? What? HE damage buff? Doesn't that thing already have insane DPM? Wait, hold on. Okay. How is this an HE value that needs to be buffed? Huh? So it's gonna have more DPM than Smolensk now, isn't it? Is it gonna be enough? I don't know if it's gonna be enough. Might be enough to push it up to Smolensk at least. Holy shit. But isn't the fire starting really insane on it as well? Yeah, it's here. But they're giving it 11% from 9. Is that gonna make it the best fire starter in the game? I think it might overtake Colbert as the best fire starter in the game. I think that might be enough to push it past Colbert as the best fire starting ship in the game. Holy shit. Holy shit. And they buffed the Torpedo Alpha. Okay. Who thinks Jinan needs buffs though? A lot of these buffs make sense. I understand the Republic buff. I understand Tsurugi buff. Katsune's a bit questionable. I understand a lot of this, but who the fuck thinks Jinan needs buffs? Huh? Is this some sort of ship where people giga underperform? Where's Jinan? Are people like sucking dicks in Jinan? There's Jinan. What? It's one of the worst win rate cruisers. 63k damage. What? Wait, what? But. Huh? How are people doing more damage in an Austin than in a Jinan? How are people doing more damage in a fucking Kitakami than a Jinan? What? Huh? People doing more damage in Puerto Rico than Jinan. Bro, what am I watching? This is insane. The survival rate is really bad as well. Which I can kind of understand. Light cruiser, people walking into radars. But how are people not doing any damage in this thing? What the fuck? That's... Holy... That's an insane buff, though. That's... The health is... Okay, it's nice. It's not that big, because it's still going to be very squishy. It's still nice, though. It's a significant. It's like 15% health or so. But the HE health and fire chance is insane, because like now it's got Smolensk DPM with better than Colbert fire chance, and the torps get a buff. And this is really important. People, this you need to understand. This is really important because the final buff isn't going to be 900. The final buff is going to be people running this fucking shit. Like, there's so many fucking people are going to be running this shit on it. The 15% on top. Because I don't think there's too many skills you could run on Jinan that was valuable. Where the fuck is my Jinan? Where's my Jinan? Blind? Here it is. Oh god, where commanders moved. It might not be the right commander. Is that wrong? No, it is. It is. Yeah, because you don't need IFHE on it, because there's no fucking benefit because the caliber is dog shit. You can run it. Oh yeah, you run heavy HE on it for free as well, so the actual HDPM is much higher than the values. And the only thing I could see myself running in here is maybe Superintendent, but like you don't really need any of these. You don't really use any of these. And so you're gonna get this thing, you're gonna, like, the fire chance is gonna be higher, actually. You're gonna get the raw damage. The actual damage values that you pump out are much nastier. And now you have the P.E.K.K.A. Punch on top, like, with P.E.K.K.A. Punch, this thing is already doing 20.5, so the actual, with that, they're gonna be like 22k or something? Jesus. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, interesting. Special Commander. Oh yeah, what was the new Special Commander? Oh, I don't know if I have the Special Commander. Regola. Oh, 60 seconds. I might actually start replaying Regola now. I hated the fucking speed boost on this thing. 60-second base. 60-second base. Holy shit. I don't have a commander on it, but... Wait, this one gives how much? 30%. So you get 18 seconds extra. So you get 1 minute 18 second speed boost. From the current 32.5 to 1 minute 18. That's a big fucking buff. Holy shit. That's more than double the value. That's a huge buff. And you're going to run the captain as well. That gives you what? Is it 10% on the duration? If you want. Damn! Okay, we might actually replay Regola. Regola is one of my least played tier 10 DDs. I've never liked this thing. I might actually re-check it out then. God damn. Interesting. Oh, here we go. Zhao has received various buffs over time, but we continue to hear feedback from players, volunteers, and community contributors to improve her further. Based on your feedback, this took only, what, 9 years? Based on your feedback and suggestions how to make her more comfortable to play, we're widening her turret angles and adding the post-launch turning feature to her torpedoes. Oh, shit. We'll keep a close eye on her combat statistics going forward, as the ship already has solid overall performance. Oi, oi, oi. Zhao buffs, the year of our lord. Main battery turret angles improved. Firing angles of the first turret widened by 8 degrees per side. Firing angles of the second turret widened by 1 degree per side. Firing angles of the third turret widened by 4, and fourth 9 degrees. So the back turret, that's big. Torpedo turning feature added to the ship as a result of this addition, the following changes were made. They added a result as the result was forward firing angles for torpedoes tubes increased by 10, backwards 45. I saw a picture of this new increase. So this is going to be the new launchers. God damn. This is going to be the new launchers. God damn. So obviously, it's gonna make some players are still gonna blow themselves up trying to launch this forward. That's still gonna happen. That's what kills, I would say, 90% of IGN cruiser players is they try to launch their torpedoes forward and then they blow the fuck up. But the kiting torps are gonna be insane now. The kiting torps are gonna be so strong because you can launch them without exposing any broadside now. Like you can maintain perfect angling and launch backwards torps. That's hugely powerful. That's hugely powerful. The forward one is still gonna get you blown up if you try to dive for them. People shoot you under the front guns and you blow up. But the backwards one, gigantic change. Gigantic change. But yeah, better firing angles, better torpedo angles. This is gonna make the ship so much more comfortable to play. It's gonna make it so much more comfortable to play. How broken is Zao? Yeah, you can fidget spin and launch the other side as well, which is something you couldn't do earlier because you had to turn so much, and Zao doesn't turn well. But now you can kind of drop and then go drop and then continue farming. And obviously it's going to be very obvious what you're doing though. Well, for most people. The difference is, however, you can go dark. Zao is pretty stealthy and pretty fast. You can go dark and drop both sides and then continue farming without wasting like an hour turning around to get the torps off. Interesting. Yumihari Adatara Bungo. HE shell ballistic. So they're buffing the HE on these ships as well. Interesting. Well, I mean, Bungo HE is really nasty. Really nasty. I'm not sure it really needed that HE buff. Oh well. Like, Bungo smashes with the HE. It does giga fucking damage. Oh well. The following changes. Oh, what's this? What is this? The following changes to combat instructions conditions were made in order to improve overall playing experience, specifically in situations when shooting targets that you lose spotting on, or while blind firing at a target that's in smoke or behind an obstacle. Amount of progress for fulfilling the new condition has been increased to compensate for the new requirement of direct hits on a target. Hanover and Admiral Ushkov have received additional conditions to complement their gameplay and improve their effectiveness in battle. Additionally, we have made changes to the hydroacoustic surge consumable for Hanover and Clausewitz. Although Clausewitz and Hanover perform within tolerances, they fall toward the low end for super ships. Bro, the fact that anyone falls low on super ships says a lot more about the player base than the ships themselves. We're giving them some buffs in the form of emphasizing their traditional German strength of long-range hydroacoustic surge. Okay. So what are they doing? Combat instructions. Parameters changed. Removed current progress conditions. Added new progress condition. Hit an enemy with main battery shell. Whoa. So this is actually kind of surprising. Because this is something that's a skill expression. This is very rare for wargaming. Usually what they do is they dumb things down. They make things more retard proof. They dumb the game down. Because that's what they've been doing. This, however, goes in a different direction, because instead of just needing to lock onto a target and shoot in their general direction to get progress, as you do now, you actually have to hit them. But in return, it rewards shooting ships that have gone dark or blind firing into smokes. Gang probably loves this patch because this patch rewards blind firing. It rewards smoke firing. But this is, in terms of wargaming's usual MO, this is a very strange direction, because it was very easy to, you could literally shoot that guy, miss all your shells, and build up like 50% charge on your funny button, because all you needed to do was land in his general vicinity. Now you have to hit them. And that's gonna be pretty brutal for things like Hanover, maybe. We'll see. Also, Ushikov can't really build up the funny button at range, which is also might be an issue. Oh no, let's see. Combat instruction parameters change. Removed current progress conditions. Added new progress. Hit an enemy ship with the main battery shell 6%. Receive 2,000 potential damage 0.1. Okay, so 20,000 is 1%. 200,000 is full charge. You're going to build that up pretty quick, actually. I take it back. Ushiguro is going to build it up really quickly. 20k for a percent? Oh, sorry, 200k is 10%. I'm retarded. It's 2 million to build it up. No, but the more important thing here is I'm retarded. I can't count for shit. What's more important here, though, is you're not going to be losing progress, provided anyone shoots in your general direction. Have they touched the cooldown on it? They're not saying anything about the cooldown on it. What's the cooldown on Ushikov? What's the cooldown on Ushikov's funny button? But because this is going to make it much easier to build, maintain it. It's going to be much easier to maintain it. But still, the problem is, though, you will maintain it, but you're going to struggle to build it up at range. Because Ushikov right now, you can just take shots at guys far away, and with your shitty Soviet dispersion, you're not going to hit much, but you still build up your funny button for the Slava dispersion. I think it's going to be harder, but then in return, you're going to have an easier time maintaining it. Well, Hanover. Combat instruction parameters changed. Removed current progress conditions. Added new progress conditions. Hit an enemy with the main battery shell. 10% reward. 1.5 with a secondary. Whoa! 7 km Hydro! For the first time, we've gone past the 6 km. That's gonna catch so many people off guard. That's gonna catch so many fucking people off guard. We have 7 km Hydros in the game now. Holy shit. Still won't detect subs though. No. It'll spot the destroyer on the other side of an island behind the smoke, but it won't stop a submarine 3 km next to you who's under the water. Okay. But 7 km permanent radars. That's pretty nasty. Holy shit. But yeah, no. As for the funny button, 10% per hit. I mean, you reload very quickly. The secondary 1.5 is... Again, I think this will be easier to maintain. Hanover funny button was... Well, I think it was range and something on the secondaries. Was it range and DPM or something? Jacksonville. Oh, a whole... Wow, what a nerf. Jacksonville unplayable now, chat. This will fix... Jacksonville fixed. Jacksonville has been fixed. Unplayable. Unplayable now. We're updating ASW parameters for several ships, matching them better with standard values for ships. We want to highlight here a change very frequently requested by our community for battleships Massachusetts and Musashi. Based on your feedback, we're increasing the range of their depth charge airstrike. This will allow players to be more effective and defend better against submarines. As a trade-off, why does it need a trade-off? Why does it need a trade-off? The ASW on these ships is a joke. Huh? As a trade-off for this improvement, we're reducing the damage per bomb to keep the ship at a similar balance level while significantly improving the usefulness of this armor. Huh? Wait, wasn't Ohio one of the ships that fucking suffered from this as well? Okay, we'll see how many, which holder changes. Okay, they're reducing the reload time on depth charge to 20. Number of depth charge bomb. Wait, how much of a fucking nerf is this? Depth charge airstrike bombs decreased from 3 to 1. Wait, you're dropping one bomb. Bomb damage increased 1.6 to 2.9. Splash damage range increased. Oh, this makes it very fuzzy how much of an increase this is. Still causes flooding and fires. Yeah, I mean, it's still useful. Don't get me wrong, but we just hate subs. Depth charge damage increased. This thing is ship-based ASW though. I mean, it's good, I guess, but you can't really get direct hits with ship-based ASW. You can only get splash. Like, I've literally seen ship-based ASW hit the captain in the face with the bomb and it's still splash damage. You can't get direct hits, so... Massachusetts and Musashi. Depth charge airstrike increased 5 to 10. Bomb damage reduced... Dude, that is still a significant buff, though. Like, it's still going to be much more valuable. Much more useful, for sure. The damage is going to be oof, especially fighting higher tier subs. But at least you're doing some damage. At least you're doing some goddamn damage. Orange gets more depth charges. Z42 gets more depth charges. Eger, Siegfried, Menchon. Okay, they reduced from 3 to 2. Damage increased significantly and splash damage range increased. Huh. Fair enough. I mean, this is still good. This is still good. Now, if they could only make it so that things like RPF and Hydra actually worked against the subs. Wait. There was no carrier changes at all. I guess carriers are fine, chat. I didn't realize, but I guess carriers are fine. There was talk about a rework at one point. They even had a test for it. Haven't said a word about that in half a year. When was the test? When we test the carrier rework? Carriers are fine. Yeah, I guess carriers are just really good. I guess I guess carriers are just really fun. When did I test the rework? July! July! So we're closing in on half a year since their test. In fact, they announced their new carrier rework in April this year, and then they tested it in July, and it's now December, and it's been nothing but complete silence since. I mean, I guess the test showed that what we told them, which is that it was a dog shit design, but they did just scrap the entire thing and just go, oh well, here's the Shinano. Enjoy. Have fun.